Daf Hey Amud Aleph will begin the last line of Daf Dalet Amud Beis. We learned previously Lamachlaikis Rav Yochanan and Rav Chanina. If was in the Miluim, was everything Ma'akiv in the Miluim, or just what was Ma'akiv for future generations? The avodas that were Ma'akiv were necessary, were essential for, and the future generations were also Ma'akiv by the Miluim. Or do we say no, that everything is, all the avodas were ma'akiv in the Miluim? My beinayu, in fact, the Gemara, what's the difference between them? Which avodas are we talking about? What are we referring to? Amar of Yosef, smicha ik beinayu. The nafkamina between them would be the mitzvah of smicha, of leaning, resting on the animal, the baalim, resting their hands or their body. Machlekes, exactly what smicha is, leaning on the korban. Smicha ik beinayu. Laman damar kol hakasa ben ma'akav behem. According to Rabbi Yochanan, who says that everything written over there is ma'akiv, is essential. Smicha is ma'akav. Smicha would be ma'akiv. By the Miluim, smicha was ma'akiv. Laman damar davar she'ein ma'akiv l'doros ein ma'akiv behem. But the one who says that the one that's not ma'akiv in the future, it's not ma'akiv there either. Smicha loy ma'akiv. Smicha is not ma'akiv. It's a mitzvah to do smicha, but l'doros it's not ma'akiv. So according to him, it would not be ma'akiv by the Miluim either. How do we talk and know that smicha is not ma'akiv for future generations? The sign, because we learned in the Brisa, v'samach v'nirtza, it says that he rests his hand, he does smicha, and it's nirsa, the korban is accepted. There's an acceptance of the korban. So, smicha mechaperes is smicha is what's mechaper. Is that the korban? The korban's mechaper because of the smicha. How could that be? What achieves the effects, the kapar of the korban? It's the zrikas hadam, the blood. Shenemar ki adam hu benefesh yichaper. It's the adam. He will give the kapara. So therefore, so what does the pasuk mean when it says v'samach v'nirtza, that there's acceptance through smicha? She'ima sol smicha shiura mitzvah. What it means to say is that if a person treated smicha like a shiura mitzvah, now, and that's not a real mitzvah. It's only a residue of a mitzvah, and therefore he didn't do it. Malav akasav kidoloi kiper. The Torah treats it like he didn't have a kapara, the keeper, but in fact he did. But since he's mezalza with it, then even though lemaisa he has a kapara, but the Torah treats it and calls it like he doesn't have a kapara because of he was mezalza in the mitzvah of smicha. So that's enough kamina. Another nafkamina, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Omar, Tenufa benayu, the mitzvah of Tenufa, certain korbanos you have to wave them. The Shlomim, for instance, the Chazav Shaykh is waved. You do Tenufa, though if that is a mitzvah, now L'Dairis, as we'll see, it's not Ma'akev, then the nafkamina was it Ma'akev by the Miluim? Laman Tomer Kol HaKasa Ben Ma'akev Behem, according to the one who says that whatever's written there is Ma'akev, there by the Miluim, it would have been Ma'akiv. But the one who says if it's not Ma'akiv for future generations, it wasn't Ma'akiv there either. It's not Ma'akiv. How do we talk and know that future generations Snufa is not Ma'akiv? The Sanya we learned in the Brisa, similar to what we just said before by Smicha. It says L'Tnufa L'Chaper. The pasuk says L'Tnufa, that he does it tufa by the Mitzayra. He takes the lamb, and he takes the lamb for an asham, and he waves it, and he does tenufa, and it says letufa lechaper, to effect kapora. Tenufa mechaper says that the tenufa that's mechaper again. Avalo ein kapora el badam shenemar ki hadam hu benefesh yichaper. kafara is affected through the blood. So what does it mean by calling it tenufa the kapara shimasol tenufa shiar mitzvah? It means to say that if he treated the tenufa, he didn't treat it with the proper chashivas. He treated like just a shiar mitzvah residue, and therefore meaning he didn't do it. It's considered as if he didn't have a kapara, but he really did. Rav Papa Amar, he says, different nafkamina, he says, Prisha Shivik Vainayim. The separation, the sequestering of the Kayan for 7 days, that's a nafkamina. According to the one that says that everything that's mentioned is ma'akiv. The sequestering, the prisha, would have been ma'akiv. But the one who says if it's not ma'akiv for the future, it's not ma'akiv there either. It's not ma'akiv. How do we know that in future generation that prisha is not ma'akiv? We learn it from our Mishnah. It says in our Mishnah, it says that they prepare a substitute kohen for the kohen gadol in case he couldn't do the avodah. So it just says that they prepare another kohen. But it doesn't say that that kohen, the substitute, also has a frasha. It doesn't say that he is sequestered. So must be therefore that if it does turn out that the kohen gadol cannot do the avodah and they have to call in a substitute, the substitute does the avodah even though he didn't have a frasha. Ravina Amar, he says, another nafkamina says, Ribu Shiva Mashiach Shiva Kibeinai. The difference is that if the Kohen, if he had to be inaugurated, he has to wear the Big Day Kahuna, the 8 Big Day Kahuna of a Kohen Gadol, and Mashiach, and have the oil poured on him between the eyebrows, to have Mashiach, and have the anointment of the oil. Now, this is supposed to be done for 7 consecutive days. So Laman Damar Kol HaKosov Ben Ma'akev Behem, the one that says that it Kol HaKosov Ben Ma'akev, it's Ma'akev, Ma'akev, this wearing of the clothes and having the oil anointed for 7 days would have been Ma'akev. Laman Damar Davishen Ma'akev L'Dor Sein Ma'akev Behem, Loi Ma'akev. But the one who says what's not Ma'akev in the future is not Ma'akev there either, it wouldn't have been Ma'akev. So how do we know? We know by the Miluim that they had these 2 items. The pasuk says, "Shivas Yomim Yimala Es Yedchem." It says by the Miluim, it says for 7 days, Yimala Yedchem. And we know it. It says, the pasuk says that a big day kodesh asher aran yu levanim achrav lemashcha vehem ulmalavam es yadam. So we learn out that therefore what it means Shivas Yomim Yimala Es Yedchem by the Miluim is also it's a reference to what it says. What it says in the pasuk that a big day kodesh asher Aaron should be for his children after Lamoscha behem u'lamala ebaim es yadam, and therefore we know that the milu yadayim is the wearing of the big day kahuna, and it says Lamoscha, so we know that it means that also they have to be anointed, they have to have the Mashiach with the oil. So therefore that's something that took place by the miluim, and if you say Kol Samaki, it would have been Makib. But for a Kohen Gadol to be inaugurated, in the future, even though there's a mitzvah of having the Begadim and the Mashiach, but it's not Makib if you didn't do it for 7 consecutive days. How do we know that Lamaisa in the future it's not Makib? The sign of the Pasuk says of it says, as far as Avodah Yom Kippur, that the future generations, the Kohen, that he comes in place of his father, that he now takes over, it says that he does the Avodah of on Yom Kippur. So Mal Talmud Loimer. So what is the pasuk coming to teach us? We know already that the Avodah on Yom Kippur has to be done by Kohen Gadol. So what is this pasuk teaching us that it will be done by the Kohen Gadol that takes over from his father? So Lafisha Nemar, because the pasuk says Shivas Yom Il B'Shama Kohen Tachtav Bonav, it says that the 7 days by a new kohen that's inaugurated. He says that he wears the clothes for 7 days, his inauguration. He wears the clothes for 7 days. I only know that if he can take over, he can be inaugurated if he wears the clothes and has Mashiach for 7 consecutive days. But what about if he wore the clothes for 7 days and had Mashiach only 1 day, or opposite, that he had the reboot for 1 day and the Mashiach for 7 days? Minayin, how do I know? He's still inaugurated to be the Kohen Gadol. Talmud Loimer Asher Yimshach Hoisav Asher Yimalis Yodai. It says this pasuk, which is extra, to say Asher Yimshach Hoisav Asher Yimalis Yodai Mikol Makam. In any event, even if it wasn't done for 7 days, but as long as he had Mashiach and the reboot Gadim, he is inaugurated even though he didn't have 7 days. So Ashchan Ribuy Shiva L'Chatchila. We do see, I'll call upon him, that the Chatchila, that it should be done for 7 consecutive days by the Ribuy Gadim, because it says Shivas Yoma Yilvasham HaKohen Tachtav Mibana. So we find that the Ribuy Gadim for 7 consecutive days is L'Chatchila. But Mashiach Shiva L'Chatchila Menolan. But how do we even know that the Mashiach, the anointing of the oil, L'Chatchila, I'll call upon him, should be done for the 7 days? More answers, you could say one answer is Mitzakra Limute, because since the pasuk is Memayit, it says that since it says Asher Yimshach Asher Yimala Esyar, it's Memayit even if it's 1 day. So we know, therefore, L'Chatchila it's for 7, and because it's Memayit, it says that B'di'evet even 1 day is enough. But therefore we learn out that L'Chatchila it's 7. V'moy same, or alternatively, you could say Dom Rekor, the pasuk says, "O big day hakodesh asher la'arayin yu lavonav achrav l'moshchavehem or l'malavam es yodav." It says that the big day kahuna should be for Aaron. It says l'moshchavehem, it elevates them, and also l'malas yodav, and inaugurate them. So iskish Mashiach l'riboy. So we make the hakesh that l'moshcha, which means Mashiach, anointing with the oil, to the Ribuy Begadim. So the big day Kodesh. Ma Ribuy Shiva, just like we saw, the pasuk says that the Ribuy Begadim, the extra clothing, the 8 clothing, is for 7, because it says Shivas Yomim Yilvashim HaKohen Tachtav Mibana. So Ma Ribuy Shiva Av Mashiach is Shiva. So too, the anointing of the oil is also L'Chatchila, is done for 7 days. So that's another nafkamina between the Rav Yochanan and Rav Chanina. If you say whatever is mentioned by Melum is Ma'akev, this Ribuy Shiva and anointing Mashiach for some would be Ma'akev. But the Dirshu is not Ma'akev. If you say only what's Ma'akev the Dirshu is Ma'akev by the Meluim, then it would not be Ma'akev by the Meluim either.